All right, let's do this. I hope everybody's having a good Saturday. In this video, I want to talk about some of the negative and racist comments made about Abu Bakr Salam on Saturday Night Hypnotic's channel. A lot of people in my comments have been asking my thoughts on this. I haven't had a chance to make a video about it, so I understand why people are asking me to talk about this. Also, I think they discussed it on Showcast, but I have not been available for Showcast the last couple of weeks, so I haven't had a chance to talk to those guys either. So I want to go over it here very briefly because on Monday night, I'm going to do a live stream and I'm going to talk in much more detail about this. There's other information that's come out and I don't want to go too far into that here. I just want to give my initial thoughts on it because you guys have been asking me and I feel like I owe you guys my opinion on this because I've talked about this stuff in the past. Okay, so Abu Bakr Salam is an actor, has been on several shows that I've watched, filmmaker, producer, game developer, person of color, black guy, and he was on, I believe it was the Game Awards. I looked this up earlier. He was on the Game Awards and did a little 3-minute video that I saw, a 3-minute clip from a speech that was made there where he talks about his inspiration for making his game and how his father, who has passed away, was part of that inspiration, how close they were, things like that. Obviously, it was a prepared speech. Obviously, he's talked about this in other videos and other interviews, things like that. And these guys have had a problem with him for a while, particularly because they get on this whole anti-DEI, Sweet Baby Inc. stuff. They get on that, and then any and everything that feels like it's talking about something from a personal perspective, from any marginalized community, they're going to jump on it. And they want us to take that seriously. They want us to believe they're being totally serious with that. There's a problem in gaming, there's a problem in media, and they are here to raise the alarm on that and have very serious discussions about how dangerous it is. But that's not what they do. And they never have. And so hearing comments made by this guy, Ryan, reality-based, and other people on the podcast, but this is the one particular person that has been sort of singled out on all this, making comments like Spear Chucker Studios in reference to the guy's company, calling people of color darky and brownie and things like that. And to be clear here, these are things that are just said apparently often on the stream. I've already seen videos where people have said this is how he behaves all the time. So this isn't something, it's not a one-off where you can go, oh, my bad, I did it once. No, he says this kind of stuff all the time. And he's admitted to saying things, other inflammatory things that haven't been picked up and discussed by people. So this isn't one of those situations where it was like, oh, I made a mistake, you know. No, he didn't. He knows what he's doing. He double, triples, quadruples down on that. Matter of fact, on Monday, we're going to watch a video from Smash JT, Mike Hollow, and this guy Ryan. We're going to watch the whole thing. I think it's like an hour and a half long, where you're going to be completely shocked and in utter disbelief on his behavior and the defense of his behavior from his own point of view, as well as Smash JT's point of view, which takes me to my next point here is that people on the podcast, some of them said they were uncomfortable with this, but there's no real pushback on it. This guy's still on there. He's been on there for a while. I think he said he's been on like 83 episodes and he's done this stuff since he's been on the show. He says Hypnotic has been very supportive of him, which doesn't surprise me. That's the other thing. I think if this surprises you at all, you haven't been paying attention to what's been going on. It doesn't shock me. Knowing that someone on Hypnotic stream, where he calls his channel members the bigot army, knowing that somebody on his stream has said racist stuff or racially insensitive things does not shock me at all. It doesn't surprise me. And maybe it's because I've been desensitized to some of it, or maybe I'm just aware of the landscape we're in. I don't know. It could be either one of those things. But he has said that he would say these things to a black person's face in public if he were not living in the UK. And we're going to watch that video on Monday. I'm telling you, you're not going to believe it. But this doesn't shock me. When the R slur came back, I said they're going to start bringing back more slurs. And then the F slur started coming up. And that's become sort of common with a lot of people. And I'll admit there's some people that I've respected that I've heard using both the R slur and the F slur. And I'm like, wow. Like, I'm not going to police their language. But at the same time, it's like, we're adults. Like, really? Anyway, So I've heard them saying that, and I'm just like, man, that's disappointing, right? But I made a video where I was talking about Eric July using the F slur. And I said it's only a matter of time before other slurs, other racially insensitive words come into regular language again. And then what are we going to do? Then what's going to happen? And we're already seeing the effects of it here, because a lot of people thought the racist stuff isn't going to become normal again. People aren't going to just start saying that again. I'm telling you, once that slippery slope starts happening and you're like okay with people just casually dropping other slurs, they're going to start using the N slur is going to come back. It's going to happen. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of these channels that we have been talking about where it starts to become a very normal comment that is made. I've heard, I can't prove this, but allegedly it's already been said on Hypnotic stream by people. Allegedly. If you guys have proof of it, let me know. But I've heard it is. So the fact that this happened, the fact that these comments were made, and people are willing to back up Ryan. They're not even saying I disavow it, I have no comment. There are people on that podcast, like Hypnotic, who are backing him up. Means that they are okay with this person saying that on their channel. This isn't like it was on Ryan's channel and Hypnotic was on his stream, and then we could do like, oh, guilt by association thing. It's not that. Ryan was on Hypnotic's channel, and Hypnotic said he supports Ryan, according to Ryan. And Ryan has been, or Hypnotic has been on streams with other people defending Ryan's behavior. Smash JT has defended Ryan's behavior. So that lets you know where we are in this landscape, where the line ends there. And the last thing I want to say before I wrap this video up is a lot of their complaints about things like DEI, Sweet Baby Inc. in particular, because the people associated with Sweet Baby Inc., they've said that they're racist against white people. And that's part of the reason why they don't like their company, is because of their racism against white people, because of things they've said about white people. This is one of their issues with that. So when you're on a podcast that is supposedly tackling a subject like that, about racism against white people, which is their assessment of what Sweet Baby Inc. does, that is their assessment. If that is your accusation of their behavior, and that's why you want them canceled or gone or no longer working in games, you can't also platform people that are saying racist things against black people or people of color in general, because then that means I can't take you seriously. You are not discussing anything of any value. You're not adding anything to the conversation. And when you look at his channel here, this is Ryan's channel, you can see, at least from the onset, it seems like he's trying to do these videos where he's talking about important topics, important subjects. But on the video we're going to watch on Monday, and we'll go into much more detail about it then, he says it's just for jokes, it's humor, it's for laughs. So I guess we're not supposed to take it seriously. So if you are battling the culture war and all you're bringing to the table is racism and people around you are okay with that, that tells me that you don't have anything to offer. There's nothing I can take away from you or extrapolate from what you're saying that betters or furthers any thought about the dangers of DEI and inclusivity and all that stuff. It doesn't add any value there. And so for me, it's not surprising. This isn't shocking. It's just more affirmation that my opinion about a lot of these podcasts is the same. It's just a bunch of people that want to be racist who are looking for excuses to be racist. However, being racist when your complaint is that this company is being racist means that you don't hold any standards. So if you don't hold those standards for yourself, how are you holding them for other people? I don't know. I can certainly say this. If somebody was on my podcast and they started behaving this way, I wouldn't let them back on my podcast, that's for sure. And I would certainly denounce it. Now, when you're a guest on somebody else's show, when you are there as a guest, that's a different situation. I can understand if Hypnotic or any of these other guys were on another show, somebody said something like this, and they're like, I denounce it, I don't agree with it, I'm never going back on the show again. I could see that. But when you platform this person on your podcast and you defend their behavior multiple times, it's no longer a guilt by association situation. It means that you approve of it, you condone it, and you defend it.